Season 1, we were in our feelings. Season 2, we started dealing. And in Season 3, we are getting to the healing. Join me, your host Justin-Rayne, and new guests each episode. Prepare to laugh, cry, possibly be triggered, but most importantly, evolve past it all as we continue to address our fuckboy problems. On today's episode of Fuckboy Problems, I talk with media personality and body positivity advocate Michael Jonvier about natives versus transplants, being body shamed by someone you're dating, and the gatekeeping acts in the entertainment industry. Trust me, he keeps it real and he does not fake it at all. Stay tuned, but up first, here's Fuckboys in the News.
Good evening. This is the news. Good evening. This is the news.
Good evening. This is the news.
Campaign between James and Phoebe really heating up now. Things.
Fucking library.
This is the fucking news.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No! This is the fucking news.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fuckboys in the News. If you guys didn't listen to season 1 and 2, I'll give you guys the rules real quick. If you're fucking up and you have no excuse for your actions, know that I'm going to call you out on them. First up on the list this week is none other than Robert Kelly. He was just charged with 9 counts of federal racketeering, sex trafficking, obstruction of justice, sexual exploitation of a child, and kidnapping charges, to say the least. But after his defense attorney accused his victims of lying and seeking fame, he even decided to bring in a comparison to Martin Luther King Jr., y'all. Hugh Hefner and former Vice President Mike Pence in his final remarks, because the last two are people that you actually want associated with R. Kelly and Martin Luther King. Don't be trying to disparage his legacy. And these ain't no May-October romances we're speaking about here, Robert. Like, this is a real issue. They also tried to use passive aggression against the jury by saying a heroic and unflinching jury would clear him. No, fuck boy. You made those choices. You violated people. And now you have to pay the cost to be the boss. Whew. Okay. Next, we have Tyrese the Thirst Bucket. We should just honestly change his name to Thirsty Reese or something else, something cute and catchy. Because this fool just faked a breakup with his girlfriend for YouTube subscribers. Yes, okay. So let me break it down. So basically, Tyrese, who's always broke apparently, and can never pay enough of his bills, his admission, his words, started a YouTube channel. Actually, he didn't even start the YouTube channel. His girlfriend did. Which, honestly, kudos to you, girl, because you're going to be on the come up when this relationship is actually on the come down. Basically, him and her came up with this whole breakup scheme, very Nikita Dragon-esque. I would say they definitely pulled one of hers where basically you give a catchy caption, you do something on social media, or you lie. Like, she loves to pull the whole, my boyfriend and me going to look at cars. But these boys are actually not her boyfriend, and she just hires influencers off social media. Tyrese and his girl, they said, we just not going to lie in the caption of the video. We just going to lie all over the internet. And then we really going to run this thing up. So basically him and his girlfriend, they both go on the internet, make these videos in the car together actually. And are like, yeah, we're done. I'm so done with her. I can't stand her. Da, 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 da. And then 3 days later, come back to social media and be like, yeah, I guess I just couldn't let her go. When actuality, they were only broken up, he claims, for 15 minutes. But they were just doing it for YouTube subscribers, which he later admits in this same video. I'm sorry, Tyrese. That is the most manipulative, insecure, and thirsty thing ever I could see someone your age doing. Like, bruh, you're fucking Tyrese. Like, you sing My Sweet Lady. You could have just been like, hey, I'm going to YouTube, or me and my girlfriend are going to YouTube. And you probably might have gotten more support than this trash attempt. Like, people are going to follow and subscribe to your YouTube because you got broken up with, like, a pity subscription? Like, I don't even... The unmitigated gall of it all. That's all I have. And last but not least, can we take a moment to just address these gay obsessed rappers and their antics? I mean, Lil Nas X has them in the chokehold of the century. And I don't even understand why these straight men are so bothered about us gay people in our business. I don't get it. Like, just say you like to do it in the butt too or something. I just don't get it. So in his latest fail of all fails, because I mean T.I., Boosie, and the baby basically are like in the three-way that never ends. So Boosie, he released some type of documentary that no one cared about, and in doing so, upon posting promo materials, his Instagram and social media was taken down for like the umpteenth time. Well, when you violate rules and things like that, you get your account taken down. Now that does not mean that, you know, these social media platforms aren't setting their algorithms in anti-black ways or set and skewed to caucasity or to appreciate and support and, you know, empower Caucasian individuals or people who create more Caucasian favoring content. That is not the point here to be made. The point is that, okay, yes, you lost your Instagram. T.I. decided to go get on the internet and say, this is a mess. He gonna comment up under the video and say that Boosie is the official rep, of the of cultural authenticity. And I'm like, what? The official rep of cultural authenticity. Is that an office in the White House? No, that's not even that's not even a job title on McDonald's payroll. Like, dude, you just sound dumb. And then you want to say that this man who can't even have like his social media stay up and down, he's never even been on CNN. Can he even articulate like a speech or a statement that isn't offensive to some group of people or something? No, I doubt it. So you, T.I., need to go sit your ass down before your allegations and accusations and all this stuff getting you up in the media bring more light to the bullshit that you and your girl doing over there in Atlanta. Oh, I just, you know, everybody sit down and y'all just all need to drink some water and mind your business. You know, wash your face too, wash your necks as well. I don't know what to say, but coming up next, we have none other than my good friend, Michael Jonvier. So, this was Fuckboys in the News, and here comes the confession. I know what to do, but to keep part two of my confessions. Hey everyone, and welcome to another season of Fuckboy Problems. I am so excited. We're in ATL this season telling the stories, y'all, and we have none other than Michael Jonvier. Hey, Mr.
That's
ATL,
me.
that's you. If you guys have not seen his amazing interviews on Instagram Live, you guys are missing out. And guess what? I'm going to be on there too. So get in and pay attention. I'm so happy to have you today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on here. I've seen, some episodes of your show, and I'm always like, oh, okay. I've been sitting there with a little popcorn, a friend too, or my nephew Chubbs, even though he probably should be watching some of the material. He got to grow up sometimes. And just get into
my Lord.
Yeah. Yes. Indoctrinate them how to deal with anything when they're older.
I heard that. I'll support that. So today's episode is called Mr. Ripe and Juicy.
Oh, you said like an ATL peach, right?
That's you right here? I heard you the peach. That's why we had you first.
I'm a native. Yes, I am a native of Atlanta. I guess you could call me a peach,
I heard you got the keys to the city.
I kind of do have that.
That's called resources, people. So Mr. Ripe and Juicy, you guys, today's episode is all about dating the typical ATLian, but I wouldn't just be me if we didn't flip it here on Fuckboy Problems. So just know that it's not just going to be a typical conversation. But before we get into that, I got to ask you, the expected questions. So first up, how would you define a fuckboy? What's your definition of a fuckboy?
Kind of like the way I describe a tool. They're good for one thing and that's it. Get what you need out of them and get the hell on. Don't marry them. Don't date them. Don't commit to them. Have your way and go about your business. They are called a fuck boy for a reason, because you fuck them. They're definitely a boy, not a man. There's a big difference between that. They're a fuck boy. Use them for what they're for and go about your business. It will save you a lot of heartache over the years if you listen to that. Nobody teaches you that. You just have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody put it like that. Just use them for this. Another word.
In my family, me and my sisters call them 4DK. Like the number 4, letter D, then K. Like they're for dick or 4DK.
Now y'all know what to put their name as in your phone, period. Yeah. You need to copyright that.
Oh, let me do that because people like to steal your stuff.
People like steal your stuff. You can put that on a shirt, okay, for me.
That part.
Anyway, okay, next question. How would you describe the typical ATL guy? The typical ATLian. Isn't that what y'all call them? ATLians?
They call them ATLians, yes, and some other stuff. So we have to divide it down here. You have the natives and you have the transplants, okay?
Okay.
The transplants outnumber the natives. The transplants usually come from smaller cities or smaller towns and stuff. And they were big stuff there, and they're not so big stuff here. So they're trying to make up for it and reinvent themselves. And then you have the ones who come from bigger cities that come down here because they think it's an easy living and they can pull one over on you until they found out that Atlanta is a city just like any other. So that's how we break it down. I break it down to a native or a transplant. You don't want to mess with a new transplant because they have to be acclimated to the way Atlanta moves and works. And she's going to eat them alive and hurt their feelings and stuff like that for a little while. She'll give them certain opportunities that they think they want until they realize they get into it and they end over their head. The natives, however, are a bit more, for my chicken wings, don't bother me. Let's chill out. You coming through and all. Very no nonsense, but good people.
Okay. People. I like some no nonsense. Mm-hmm. What's something surprising that people will find in Atlanta? What's something surprising they will find out about Atlanta, about the dating scene in Atlanta?
Unless you're a straight man, it is very hard. Unless you're a straight man. If you're a straight man, I advise any straight man in Atlanta, any straight man in the country that's trying to find themselves a single woman, particularly a Black single woman, to come to Atlanta. It's a smorgasbord. Like you're going to be able to overindulge yourself. But if you're a woman or somebody of an alternative lifestyle, it's going to be a little, yeah.
I was about to say, why would you say it's a struggle? You can't give us that without giving us the explanation. Now, why is it such a struggle?
Because so for the women, it's a
lot of gays.
It's a lot of gays. Well, let's be clear about this. Just in population wise, recently the study they did show it's almost 12 to 13 women for every one man in Atlanta. And then you break that down even further, it's a high, Black gay population. And that just takes away from them even further. So when it comes to the gay end, when you deal with the guys, it's kind of just like, it's a huge quantity. And so everybody feels like, okay, well, I want to hold out because I want to find the very, very best person for me, instead of going for the person that's for them, that they actually really like. Okay, well, I like him, but he's cuter than him, but he's slightly cuter than him, but he has more money, but he has less money, but his sex is better. And it's just like, you're not going to get everything you need out of one person. Like, stop.
What?
You're not going to get everything you need out of one person. You might get 80%.
I guess it's like 80-20.
It literally is that. Because that other 20, first of all, you shouldn't be trying to get everything you need out of one person anyway. You need to have something inside of yourself to sustain you. Because when said person decides they want to move on or they evolve or they change, like, where does it leave you at?
At point A?
At point A, or back to where he's going, or back on Jack or Grindr, or in some miscellaneous club or den somewhere.
Didn't they close the den? RIP to the den. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's get to the confession portion of the show. Are you ready?
Because I love me some meat and potatoes. It make me slick hungry.
I know I'm hungry as hell. This is gonna be real good later. Oh, all right. So Mr. Ripe and Juicy. First, we need a nickname. Give us a nickname for this dude.
I want to say he who shall not be named, but that's way too long to keep saying. So we'll call him Pluto, because that's where I wish I could put his ass.
The dwarf planet, the planet no one even acknowledges anymore.
Like who?
I don't know her
at all.
Give it to us, like I was saying, like Golden Girls. Picture it, Sicily, 1942. Where were you at? Paint the picture. We need to go with you. Transform us in time. Let's get into the time machine.
Okay.
What year was it?
It was so it was last year. We're gonna go to that. So picture it, 2020. During the pandemic, it was early fall, late summer when I was on Jack, ran into someone that I had spoken to almost a year before. They told me they had gotten off of there because they got into a relationship, but it didn't work out. Subsequently, they were back on the dating and hookup app. So I was like, oh, wow, this is my chance. Let me get to know them. We talked for like 2-3 days on the phone, like continuously. I realized they lived close by. So, they decided to come over, hang out, spend the night, chill, whatever. So they came over, spent the night, we cuddled, did some things. The next morning, fooled around a little bit. I actually liked this person, so I wanted to wait. I didn't want it to just be a fuckboy situation. I was like, they got some potential. So we started dating, started going out, hanging out almost every single day thereafter for about 2 months. That's what I was doing, either hanging out with them or talking to them or planning stuff for us to do together. And at the time, they were actually looking for like a job and stuff like that. Well, a better job, I should say, because they had a job. So I would like spend some of my spare time actually applying for like jobs for them and stuff like that. And just really trying to see how it could be if I put forth the effort to be a boyfriend. Because I wanted somebody to see like how it could be with being with me, the support that I give, the love that I give, the understanding that I give, the communication that I give, because I always give the people what I want for myself. I can't expect you to give me what I want if I'm not showing. That's just how my philosophy works. So we're doing all of this, doing all of that. He started off saying, yeah, I'm not gonna spend the night at your house again because your bed sits too low to the ground. And I was just like, that's weird. Like my bed
was fine them other nights.
Yeah, it was fine. I'm like, what is the problem? I'm like, okay. He came over one day and he was just like, yeah, it's kind of hard for us to be hanging out because I know you don't have a car right now and like I don't have a car. And my mom was always telling me like, don't date somebody who doesn't have a car because especially if you don't have one, because then y'all won't be able to get around. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm an adult. Lyft, Uber, MARTA, whatever I need to do, plane, teleporter, paper flight, whatever I got to do, I'm going to get to where I need to get to. So that was never an issue for me. And so that was another like strike. And so, we kept talking and stuff like that, but he would just say little stuff here and there about my weight. Like, normally I like to deal with guys like a little bit smaller than me. If I'm gonna let them top me, I prefer them to be like bigger and taller. If they're gonna bottom for me, I like them to be slim and small. Y'all, at the time, I'm a 6 foot tall, 200, and this was including the COVID weight, 275-pound guy. So I'm just hearing stuff like this saying is, we still hanging out. I'm spending the night at his house. We cuddling up, kissing on each other and stuff like that.
But just to be clear, he met you at that size, correct?
Correct.
All right, keep going.
He met me at that size. So I'm thinking everything is fine. So I started, working out for myself because I realized I had gained some weight during COVID. It's not something I necessarily felt comfortable with. And then for most of you that don't know, being down here in Atlanta and you can be a big boy, they give you a really, really hard time. Really hard. You'll be surprised. They don't want to mess with you in public. They don't want to make you boyfriend, but they want to make you a fetish. They want to hit you up online and behind closed doors and stuff like that. And so unfortunately, due to my low self-esteem at the time, I was used to stuff like that. So somebody who wanted to hang out with me and do stuff and be seen with me, I was really happy about that. And so finally, we were on a date and he told me, he said, right before the date, he said, I want to talk to you about something after this. And I was like, well, why can't you just talk to me now about it? He was like, no, we're going to talk afterwards. So we went out to Ruson's, a sushi place down here in Atlanta. And pretty much I told him, I said, well, we're having a good time, great conversation. I'm thinking everything is fine. I paid for the bill. Afterwards, he's like, so I really want to talk to you about something. I said, what do you want to talk to me about? He was like, Mike, I just want to let you know that I don't think this is going to work out between us. I said, excuse me? He's like, yeah, I think we should just no, I don't see you're a really great guy, but it's just not going to work. I was holding my leftovers. Well, he was holding my leftovers and his. I just took my leftovers out of his hand, walked away from him.
Because that's your leftovers.
Those my leftovers. Walked away from him across the street, caught a lift, went about my business. And I didn't speak to him for 3 or 4 days. So finally he hits me out the blue and he's just like, so what, man? We at least not even friends or nothing like that. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We need to normalize, stop offering friendship as a consolation prize for when we want to reject somebody. We need to stop doing that because number one, being a friend is way more important and way more valuable being somebody that they hooking up with or somebody they dating with. Friendships outlast romantic relationships. Usually, let's be just very clear about that. Let's be very clear about that. Friendships can outlast multiple relationships. They do. So stop trivializing friendship when it comes to, okay, well, we can at least be friends. You don't mean that. And then if you are trying to be a friend to them, understand that that's going to take amount of time for them to
There's a healing process.
To let you go and be okay with seeing you with somebody else and not comparing and contrasting themselves. But getting back to what I was saying. So I responded back to him no, I just looked at this stuff I don't want to be friends. I was just no, man, that's something good. I really liked you. I was like, well, no, we can't be friends. So my roommate at the time, he comes downstairs. I'm telling him about what's going on. We're going to go to the mall. And he's like, well, I want to let you know, Pluto reached out to me via Jax. And he said, pretty much like, I think it'd be, I know we only met that one time, but me and Mike didn't work out. And I was just thinking that maybe me and you can be friends. We can get up together and smoke. I called, I text Pluto back, said some very, very dark and nasty things to him. Extremely dark and nasty things. Probably some of the worst things I've ever said to anybody in my life. Do I regret sending them to him? No.
I wouldn't.
Not at all. Not at all. And that was the end of it. Subsequently, even after all this time, he's still trying to reach out to my said friend / roommate and trying to talk to him and tell him this is what happened in such and such. And I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't trying to get at you. I was just trying to hang out. That's messy as fuck.
What was the reason?
That was messy as fuck. And you don't think my friend is gonna come and tell me that you're doing some heinous shit like that? And so a lot of people be like, oh damn, are you and your friend still friends? Yes, he didn't do anything wrong. The boy reached out. And then
where was y'all gonna fuck? Where was you? You didn't think in the interview was gonna talk to him. Where was you gonna go? You think you was gonna show up to your house where you live too? And you was just gonna walk past me?
Let me tell you something. I would have chose violence. And had I found out they were together, I would have chose violence. Because you don't do that. It's disrespectful as fuck. It's a whole generation of people that have grown up with not getting the shit knocked out of them for the stuff that they do. And it shows. Like, I don't know why disrespect is so normalized nowadays. But that took me so far out of character that pretty much it cemented to me that, hey, I thought maybe I can just give guys a full chance and maybe I just need to just back away from girls and stuff like that. But I said, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. So I started back mixing up the pot, dating women too again, because I'm bisexual. I've never lied about that. I've never steered away from that. Anybody I've ever known has known that I'm attracted to men and women equally. And if you say which one you like more, I tell people all the time, it's apples and oranges. You can't compare the two. I'm just gonna be real about this. And so that cemented me like saying, yeah, I gotta make sure I keep at least trying to date women and see how that's going and whatnot. And it made me really distrustful. It gave me kind of PTSD about dating. Like even now, I'm terrified to date. And it's been a year now. Like somebody can talk about dating and it makes my heart cringe, or whenever somebody that I'm interested in says to me, hey, we need to talk. You know what I mean? Or
you instantly go back to that moment.
Yeah. And I'm afraid to put in too much effort because I don't want to walk away feeling like I wasted all my time on somebody who didn't give a fuck about me. Like, how many people do you know, you tell them that, you're trying to find a better job, you're struggling to pay your bills, or sit there and help you fill out applications. Like you fill out 15, I fill out 15, let's do this, let's do that. As soon as you get a reply back for an email, I'm forwarding it off to you and stuff like that. It was just real hurtful, real hurtful. I tried to date somebody else, after that, like, they say, get over one person, another person, that was even more disastrous. And it made me look at dating and love and romance, even dark, very dark, very dark. Even now, I still have some strong reservations when it comes to it. I mean, there's so many other areas in my life that I've worked and grown and transformed and expanded in over the last year, because I've been on a healing journey in the last year. And that's probably the last little vestiges of it that's still right here that still kind of hurts. It's like a shrapnel right here. And every time I think about him, it's still a little shrapnel.
Oh, you have to make me cry.
Because he kind of took something away from me. Like, I don't know if I can trust another person. I don't know if I can trust like another guy like that. And now I was already nervous about bringing people around my friend / roommate at the time. And it's nothing against him at all. Nothing against my friend / roommate, because we're not roommates anymore, but nothing against my friend anymore. It's nothing against my friend. He wasn't doing it. He's being himself. He was being kind. He's been nice. And he's an attractive guy. So people are going to look at him and whatnot. But it sucks because you unwittingly compare and contrast yourself to that person. Where like, this is my friend. We're not competing for this.
And now that has thrown, like, it could damage your own friendship or how you even see yourself with your friend, because that was never a factor before.
Right. Where I'm not going to bring nobody around. No, you don't need to meet them. No, I don't want you coming over here. Like, stuff like that went through my head. But, I was mature enough to be like, I said, you know what? He said, I understand, if you want to take some time and don't want to go to the movies, not go to the mall with me, Mike. Like, we can just, I don't have to go. I said, no, fuck that. We had plans to go to the mall together today. That's what we're going to do. That's what we did. Subsequently, I strengthened our friendship because of that. And I know we have a policy between ourselves of we don't share niggas, as in, like, if you used to mess with him, you're gonna be always off the radar for me. And the same goes for me, because the thing about it is, like I said, again, a good friend is worth 1,000 relatives. A good friend is worth 10 romantic relationships. It's all about loyalty. And for me, Michael Jonvier, I prioritize loyalty over love. Because somebody who's loyal to you, if they're loyal to you, they'll do anything for you. You say, they're not stabbing in the back. But somebody who loves you, they will. They can. They do. They ultimately do somehow do something disloyal where you feel like you didn't have my back when you should have.
I tell people all the time, love has limits, okay?
She does.
It's a finite contract with me. We only gonna go so far and use love as a stamp or a Band-Aid for bullshit. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I got some questions. What was the age difference between you and this person? Or was the age not a factor at all? Because if it wasn't a factor, then just say it wasn't a factor.
It wasn't a factor. We're the same age.
Okay. Damn. Okay, so he had moved. Do you feel like manipulation? And do you feel like in any way manipulation was a part of it?
No, it wasn't manipulation because I was doing what I wanted to do with it. I was trying something different. Before that, I had kind of been like, I'm not gonna lie, like on my whole phase where I was just like, you know what, niggas ain't shit. I'm just gonna fuck, go about my business. But with him, I wanted to try something different because I actually really, really liked it. So it was no manipulation. I was doing what I wanted to do.
Do you feel, you had made a statement about, you know, like you were really trying to go into this full-fledged 100%. Do you feel like part of that was you trying to prove it to yourself? That you're like, hey, I can go in here and go into these situations or go into dating, you know, full-fledged and not be afraid, or coming back from like your previous statement of having your whole phase. You're like, no, I can do this. I can be a boyfriend, because that was actually what you said. You're like, I can be a boyfriend. I can be a good boyfriend.
Yeah. So for me, it's partly proving it to myself. And the other part was I was like, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for something serious. I'm ready for something more, because you ultimately know when you're ready for something. You don't know until you know. It just clicks one day where you're like, I would do this, you know? And that's just what it was. And for me, it clicked and I was like, well, I can do this.
I know as you talk about, like, as you've been healing, have you seek therapy? Have you talked?
I go to a therapist every week. Her name is Dr. Brown. I love her so much. For me, the thing that she had to work on for me was insecurity and low self-esteem. Most people don't know this, and if you did, it's fine. I've dealt with insecurity and low self-esteem most of my life, brought on because of how people treated me about my appearance. I grew up feeling like I was a gargoyle. Like I felt like I was, I felt like that shit all the way up until.
You're beautiful. I've known you for years, friend.
Thank you. I feel like that all the way up until last year, actually. All the way up until.
Oh, babe, I want you to know right now. Fuck that. And fuck him. No. Wait, them gargoyles was cute in the 90s, though. Them niggas was fine on that little cartoon. They was giving. So if you want to be that 90s gargoyle show, it's on Disney Plus, y'all.
Get into it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. But I guess like I felt that way about myself because I would see how people treated like my friends or whatnot, who were like, I guess we would consider them more attractive. They were all bodied out, pretty boys, popular and stuff like that. And so I always felt like I was the duff, you know, like that movie, The Designated Ugly Fat Friend. And so like they were like guys that I like wouldn't like me back, but they were like my friends. Or I would try out for like different stuff, like to be the host of something or a role or something like that, or be a part of a show. And they would either relegate me to the back, or they would pass me over all the way. And they would just say, well, you know, we got to have somebody who's some eye candy or something like that. Or we want to have somebody who got this, or who got that. I just got tired of not feeling like I was good enough. And so I had to vacate myself, vacate the community, quote unquote. And I use that with quotations because, and I'm just going to be frank when I say this, I don't feel it's a community. I feel it's a population. Because to me, community is an extension of family, and so many members of the community I would never, ever, ever, ever consider a member of my family. Not ever.
And that's fair.
And it's work that needs to be done across the board. It's a lot of toxicity. It's a lot of growth that's happening. Let's be very clear. I'm never going to take that away. It's a lot of growth that I've seen happen. But the level of acceptance of different types of people, body types, sexualities, appearances, is still subpar. And it's still destroying people every day. My DMs are filled with men who say, Mike, I'm glad you talk about body positive stuff. I'm glad you brought up this subject or that subject. We're not using a platform for this, because otherwise they don't see themselves or they don't hear about themselves. And that's a problem. So, but like I do go to therapy. She also advised me to, like, you know, Go to the gym because that helps too. Because for me, I didn't necessarily want to do medication or anything like that. My mother, she actually suffers from bipolar depression. So I thought maybe it was a genetic thing or something when I got checked for that. No, I don't have it at all. Mine was more situational. You know, I was kind of indoctrinated under some negative thinking. I was reacting to how I felt the world viewed me instead of reacting to how I should have viewed myself.
And what does that look like now for you? Because I know I mean, even for me, I can't say I've even dealt with some of those things. I think even, you know, like growing up, especially in a Black household, I was the only dark-skinned child. So, you know, like the colorism in that, like how I would get relegated to one way of being treated versus like all the other cousins and my brothers and sisters, they'll be treated a totally different way. How do you approach every day in dealing with like your depression and your insecurities? Like, how do you deal with those?
So for me, like I said, I actually like myself now. I like myself. I have weeded almost everybody in my life that made me feel less than. And like I said, I took a break away from everybody. I'm either at the house or if you see me at an event, I'm working. I'm not hanging out with you. I'm not at the clubs, I'm not at the bars, I'm not doing any of that. I had to literally isolate myself. And that's how I found my peace. And I have this great sense of inner peace in myself now. And I won't let anybody do anything to disrupt that.
How, like, I know, and you transforming and you investing in yourself, you know, like in your body, like you said last year, how did that transform? How did that transform and turn into you becoming this whole body positivity advocate? Because it just kind of blew up. And I was like, I didn't know Michael did this. And then I was like, but wait, come on. And then it just like was everywhere.
Well, the thing about it is, in 2020 beat my ass. Let's be very clear.
She beat my ass too. She wore me out. She dragged me by my wig.
She beat my ass. She beat my ass. And I ain't even talking about COVID, y'all, because I've never had it, didn't have it, not gonna have it. She beat my ass. And one of the things was pretty much it came because it was part of a project where, yet again, I was relegated to the back because they wanted a friend of mine to be the head of the situation because they believed that because he was attractive, that was gonna sell everything. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing.
It don't always work.
It doesn't always work. It didn't work. It actually imploded. But the other situation was I auditioned for this movie role. It was a romantic comedy, and I was auditioning for a side role to be like the best friend's younger brother or like best friend or something like that. Because I was like, they're not gonna cast me for like a major role or anything like that. So I auditioned, I came in there, I had memorized my lines. It was like 50, 60 other guys inside of there. And I was just like, oh wow, these guys are nice. They look really good. Like, oh, this is dope. So I was like, yeah, I'll be like a little side role. So I came in there and I auditioned, and I didn't have no paper or anything with me, but I did my role. And the casting director, he was like, oh wow, you did really, really well. He said, can you read for this right here? So I read for that. I guess I did it really good. He said he stood up, he was clapping, like, and I was just like, I did it right? He's like, oh, you did it great. You did it really good. He said, you know what? He said, have you ever been in a leading role before? And I said, no, I've never been in a leading role. I've been a supporting actor in a number of different series and stuff. I sent my reel over. So I think you should be like the main person, like the main guy in this. And I was just like, oh, wow. So I felt really, really good about myself. I was like, I did this. Like I beat out all these other guys to get this. So everything was cool. They sent me the schedule for shooting and stuff. I rearranged my schedule so I'll be able to be a part of the movie. It was an independent film, you know. I was like, okay, this is how much you're gonna get paid off of it. So the next week I came back. We were doing the table read. So the casting director was there that I mentioned the other day, and the director was there again. So I'm sitting at the table. We all doing the table read. Everybody was happy to see each other. It was real cool. And so we get done, and I look at the director. He whispers something inside the casting director's ear. And so I'm getting ready to leave out, and I'm going down the hallway, and the casting director runs up on me and said, hey, Mike. I said, hey, what's going on, man? He said, hey, listen. So I have some news. I said, what's the news? He said, so we decided to go a different direction with your character. And I was like, different direction? I was like, I'm thinking like, oh, maybe we can get more lines, or he can be a little bit funnier or something like that. And he was pretty much just like, so we decided to go with somebody else completely different. Somebody else is going to play this character. And I was like, did I say something? Did I do something? He said, the director just doesn't see you for this role. He said, but you know, we're just trying to we really want to sell this, so we need some eye candy. He said, so, you know, you lose like, you know, a good 60, 70 pounds, you know. He said, and you'll be perfect. You'll be fine. You'll be great. And I was like, he was like,
we're saying this in 2020?
This happened in 2020. And I was just like, and I just get my face like balled up, like I got real mad. And so he was like, just, if I want to reach out to you for another project, he said, can I reach out? And I was like, I'd rather you not. Honestly, I'd rather you not at all. I left out of there, went home. I was fucked up. My friend tried to talk to me and tell me, sometimes the director knows what he wants a particular character to look like. But I was like, well, why put me through that process? Or why not tell your casting director you want this certain type of guy? But I saw that really sucked to me because they said that my talent got me into the door, but because of how I looked at the time, I was denied an opportunity, and that really messed me up. And so I said to myself, this is never ever going to happen to me or anybody else ever the fuck again. And so I said, I have to transform. That's when I started working out and losing the weight so I can get through the other side of the door, make my own table and reach back through that door and pull the big boy in the corner that nobody's paying attention to, the opportunity of a fucking lifetime. Because I'm tired of underdogs being passed over simply because they don't fit a frame that some white man picked to say that, hey, these features are totally acceptable for you people. And that's what we want. And that's what you should want for yourselves too. No,
because a lot of people don't know that's literally just divisive as system. Yeah, it's systematic racism. Like the stuff about your nose being wide. These were literally divisive ass things that they were doing to use our features to break us apart, to create dissension.
Your hips are too wide. If you look at what the standard of beauty is for the entire world, the main
is a white woman, white people.
A white woman. It's cocknized, even for men. That V type shape, it's cocknized. And people don't realize that small, skinny, slim frame comes from them being malnourished in Europe. They didn't have crops. It's a reason they raped and pillaged the rest of the world. They didn't have shit.
Let's be clear, okay?
When you're hungry and you ain't got food to eat, your ribs gonna show. You're gonna have the abs and the pecs and the perky titties and stuff like that and all of that. You're starving. You're starving.
You're starving.
Like, come on.
You're right though, yeah.
You're like, come on. People don't realize that, well, no, that's just the healthy thing. So no. But people ask, I know you wanted to be healthy, so you started to lose weight. No, I wasn't trying to lose weight to be healthy. Let's be very clear about you. My blood pressure has been perfect my entire life. I've been strong as an ox my entire life. I could still jump fences at 200 some pounds. And I was even bigger than that then. My biggest weight, I was 390 pounds. In my entire life, I was 390. So it was never that. I started losing the weight because to some of these dumbass people out here, I gotta look a certain way and maybe they wanna fuck on me and give me an opportunity to get through. I'm not gonna let you hit, but I'm gonna get through and take the opportunity and the power that you're giving me and weaponize it to use it for what I need to push the agenda of, hey, your talent will make room for you. You ain't gotta screw this person. You ain't gotta look this way. Can you read the lines? Are you great at it? Are you a believable character? Like, can your talent get you in? That's what my thing is. And that's where I think the world needs to run up of talent. Straight up.
Amen to that. All right. Now, with all that in mind, first of all, thank you so much for your candor and sharing. I have to thank you so much for that. Okay, now tell everybody what you got going on out there before we move to the next portion of the show. Tell everybody all the stuff you got going on.
So for me, you guys, I have a number of projects that I'm working on. Right now, I have one-on-one with Michael Jonvier, and that's pretty much my attempt to show the more beautiful parts of myself, to be a little bit more vulnerable, and to enlighten and inform the world. So I talk about different social issues and topics with people who have lived the experience, or they happen to be specialists in that area. They try to uplift other people. Somebody somewhere is going through something dealing with a certain topic that I'm talking about, and this is designed to help them through that to some way, somehow. So that's what that's about. The Hey Mikey Show with K-Star, it's Carla Von Zell and Imani Van Zap. That'll be coming back actually, 2 weeks from tomorrow, the first Thursday in October. And you'll actually be able to watch it. It'll be a whole first season. Every week, I'll be dropping 5 episodes on my YouTube channel. Michael Jonvier LLC.
You better roll out.
Yeah, so y'all will be able to see that every Thursday. That'll be posting up. And me, Carl, and Money have a lot of different interviews and stuff on there. The topics and stuff now, stuff we talked about in the past, but just to see how we talk and interact with each other, I think you guys are really going to get a kick out of that. We have a great dynamic. Then I'm actually working on a Black comic book. I got an artist. I've been writing a comic book. Yes, it's a series based on me and my 6 siblings. Most people don't know it, but I'm number 2 out of 7. I'm the second oldest of 7. I was the oldest of 5.
Mama.
No, not mama, daddy.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. If you want to bring in my daddy child, it's 10.
It's always daddy.
It's always daddy sharpening ass.
Yes, listen, it's always daddy.
Niggas,
But I
fuck
love
boy
them.
problems.
I actually just met my one of my brothers in the last year, and we've known each other. We've seen each other around for years, and it was so crazy. Like people was like, that's the reason I'm talking about this is because we're gonna do a little documentary together. This show like how we found him. I'm gonna call him my brother.
Great.
Yeah, we pretty much knew the same people for years and years. And my cousin's like, yeah, he said he know you. I said, he said he know me. He said, yeah. He said he's you from another life. What does that mean? You know? So talking about that. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
Tell next everybody where they can find you on social media too.
Okay. Last thing, next year in 2022, my goal, and y'all hold me to this, is coming out with my first scripted series. Film, wrapped up, all that scripted series.
I just want my audition.
Listen, I got to roll for you because you look like one of the characters in it. Now that I'm thinking about it, scripted series. So that's what that'll be about. But if you guys are trying to find me, it's very simple. You want to put up Hey Mikey ATL, but you got to let Hey Mikey ATL go. Mikey is still here. He's inside of me. He is smiling. He is happy. He is sleeping. But Michael Jonvier, you can find me everywhere with that name. MICHAELJONVIER. Text me, DM me, reach out to me. I'm not unapproachable. Fuck what you heard. I'm a real all the way.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I hit him up, I told him my idea, and he was instantly supportive and down for it. So absolutely. You only know until you try, you guys, all right?
That's right.
All right, now when we come back, we will have our fuckboy versus fucked up portion of the show. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it's a mess.
I couldn't help but wonder. 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 Are men just women with balls?
This is a good time to vent. Officially. Now, in the great tradition of Paris is burning, the library is about to be open. Hey! Because reading is what? Fundamental. That's right, children.
All right, we got Michael Jonvier here. Baby, we are at the fuckboy versus fucked up portion of the show. If you're new to fuckboy problems, which I don't know how, we're on season 3, y'all. But if you're new to the show, thank you for listening. But the way this portion of the show works is pretty simple. I'm going to read a listener letter from one of our happy, joyous listeners. We're going to say he's happy and joyous. He is a mess right now. But for one of our loyal listeners, I'm going to read a letter that they've emailed in. And basically, we'll just weigh in and decide, 1, if they're a fuckboy, if they're fucked up. And then 2, give them some advice on how to deal with the situation. And maybe they'll write me back and I'll update y'all later on in the season. Or maybe I won't. And they'll just get their life together. Either way, we want them to take this advice. And Michael, we're going to let you preach some, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So the subject line today is it says, flip-flop failure. Girl, it says, hey, Justin-Rayne, I found your podcast on Twitter and have been listening ever since. Please release more episodes already. That's what this is. Welcome back, baby. I'm back. Hey, he said, I've got a situation that I could use your advice on. I was having brunch with my friends, catching up, and it seemed like everyone in the crew was flip-flopping. I don't know if it's FOMO or what, but it seems like everyone's verse except me. They all seem to be enjoying the added benefits of sex without positional limits. And I figured since I'm turning 25, I should maybe open up my mind more to it. And hell, Twitter makes it sound like heaven as well. Now you can use Twitter as a reference.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate to be a labels person, but I'd say I consider myself a verse top. I've definitely bottomed before and have found great enjoyment and pleasure from it. I've even came a few times before without the infamous lick my nipples as I stroke situation either. Okay, well, that's good. That means you really let go. You got up in it. You know, you let loose. You broke down them sugar walls. Let me shut up and read this story. Okay, I just don't do it very often and as of late at all. Okay, so you're a little rusty. I would blame it on the Ponderosa, but child, that would be a lie. So I've been dating this guy named Kevin for about 4 months now, and I really like him. He's smart, ambitious, spontaneous, and a certified freak. I brought up my idea of us flip-flopping, and at first he seemed cool with it. But every time I turn around during the session or give him the go-ahead, he would decline and say he's worn out. I mean, girl, that's a compliment to you, I guess. You know, you got that good meat for the streets. You doing what you need to do. You slinging and banging. Okay. He said, I mean, I know my dick is good, but who doesn't like to go for more than one round, right? I'm needing 3 minimum.
Yeah, it's 2, 3. At least,
yeah, where I'm at in life. But finally, he said, finally, I brought it up to him over dinner, and he told me the unthinkable. I'm just not attracted to you as a bottom. I just don't see myself fucking you. I just want us to stick to the dynamics we have. I'm completely satisfied. End quote. I honestly, and then this is him again. I honestly didn't know what to say. And to be honest, my feelings were hurt, but I really didn't know why at the moment. So I just said, you know what? That's cool. It's fine. I'm satisfied. Later that night, I thought about it more and just couldn't get it out of my head. Why wouldn't I make a good bottom? What's wrong with me? Does he think I don't know how to douche? Or I'm a Picasso in the making or some shit? Was it my body? Did he think my body type didn't fit the bottom stereotype? We're the same height, almost, and I'm only 20 pounds heavier than him. I racked my brain and I can't figure it out. I also hit a dead wall with him regarding his reasoning. He just said, I can't explain it. I just don't think of you that way. So here I am asking for help because my friends just said move on, but I like him. What should I do? Should I just move on and let this idea go? Cut him off and try finding someone new? It has to be something wrong on his part, right? Please help me with this. Signed, verse flop. No longer verse top. Oh, friend.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. I want to hug. I want to come give you a hug. Tell you come to my bosom.
He only 25. So this is what I was
You
saying.
got your whole life ahead of you, girl, at the bottom. Go buy a dildo.
No. No dildo. No dildo. This is what I'm going to say. You know, I remember my 20s. For those of you who don't know, I'm proudly 37 years old. And so
look at that skin.
Thank you. So I'm probably 37 years old. And for me, what I always tell people is your 20s is a time for you to explore, to learn about yourself, to learn what you like, don't like, what turn you on, don't turn you on. You want to try new stuff. That's the time for you to do it. Clearly, this guy is wanting to be versatile now. And he's wanting to be versatile with someone he cares about, somebody that he's borderline about to be in a relationship with. And so said guy is like, no, I'm just not attracted to you as a bottom. First of all, I think the boy is a bottom himself. That's the first thing. The second thing is you can't, for a lot of guys, I've learned this too. If they mostly bottom and then you've topped them and then you think they're gonna flip after that, it's a no. That thing the prostate is a little muscle down there and it needs time to like close itself back up so it can get hard again to be able to do anything you might else want to do. All that. You got to get that some time. I hope you're not thinking you're going to just go from like one round to the next. Everybody can't do that. I personally have never had a problem doing that, but everybody can't do that. So he has to be patient in that area. What I would do personally is tell him at this point in time in my life, this is something I really want to explore. You're somebody I really care about. You're somebody I can see myself being in a relationship with, and I want to do this with you. This is going to be a curiosity of mine until I actually act on it. And I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt you. So is there a way we can compromise? Is this something that we can talk about? Maybe even go talk to somebody else about to work through. If not, I think they should part ways. And besides, they're only 25, you know?
That's where I was at with it. Yeah. And that's probably why your friends was like, girl, kick him to the curb and just get back on Jag. You can figure this out by tonight. You can know if you really built to be a bottom right now.
Right. Because him talking about I'm not attracted as a bottom, he said but I understand when people say stuff like that to you. Because I had people say stuff like that to me. Like I told you, the guy told me, he was like, he like his bottoms this certain size. He like his tops this certain size. And I was just like, it does make you question yourself. It does make you be like, well, is it my body? Like something like, are you just not attracting? Because I'm like, you doing all of this, but you don't want to do that. So what the hell is it? I think you should have that one last serious conversation. And after that, move on. Your 20s, you have the right to explore. You should explore. You should explore.
And I think this is the time to really figure out, what you want to do. You don't want to be 40 trying to figure out how to clean out, girl.
Let me tell you something. You don't want to be 40 and have already been in a relationship with somebody, a husband by the end. Let's normalize the boys getting married. So let's normalize that.
Yeah, that's
time. And y'all have cemented that, hey, I like this role as a bottom and I like you in this role as a top. And then all of a sudden you want to try to mix and stuff. And he's like, oh, I don't want to do that. Or some guys, they're just not tops. They don't want to use their penis. They don't even want you to touch it. And he's like, I can't do this. I don't want to do that. Then you want to open stuff up. And he might not be with you opening stuff up. But you're like, I'm not satisfied. And y'all part ways.
Yeah, that was going to be my suggestion. That was going to be another alternate suggestion. I was going to say, if he said, if you, Mr. Verse, I really hate that you call yourself a verse flop. You need to first of all, you need to stop that because you're not a flop. Right. And you didn't flop. Did you pay him? Or we just want to be clear. You didn't flop. If anything, they flop because they don't want to get it up.
Just say, I just want to be. Let the boy say straight up, I'm a bottom. Like that's what I wish the boy would have said. I'm a bottom.
Yeah.
I prefer the bottom. I don't want to do this. I don't want that for me.
Or you could be like, hey, like if you don't see it for me, like, are you open? Because polyamory is something real. Are you open to us inviting a third? Would you be open to me inviting a third? They could fuck us both, bitch. You could go. I'm going in.
Yes, but understand
if that's what y'all want.
Situation. When you bring another person into a situation, you run the risk of some other stuff happening. Polyamory is not for everybody. I say pick and choose what's good for you and yours. You know what I mean? This is not polyamory, but this is to say this is a third other entity. It's already two of y'all, and it's switchy and difficult enough. Bringing somebody else in could tear y'all apart. Don't do anything outrageous until your foundation is cemented.
Your foundation. Yeah, you got to be tight.
And like we said, they just dated at this point. He said he'd been dating him for 4 months. I mean, by this time I thought they might have been in a relationship or something like that, or about on the precipice of it. He seems like he wants to be with the boy.
Yeah, you should be pretty sure. You should have a good idea of who, a decent idea of who this person is and how you feel about them and where you think this train is going. You should know at least what direction you guys are kind of sort of going.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, but then again, you know what? I'm not an expert at relationships.
Some people like a slow roast. My advice for you, Mr. I'm gonna call you. You are as verse as you want to be. So I'm just gonna call you Mr. Verse. You're verse, verse in waiting. You're verse in waiting. That's cute. Okay. I'm gonna call you Mr. Verse in waiting. Yes, you're verse in waiting. And I'm just saying, if this is really what you want to explore, like Mike said, revisit the conversation one last time. And seriously revisit it. Like sit down. Y'all gonna have to be like, okay, what are our options? And what options are you open to? And if the options don't serve you, which you should be putting yourself first, you want to make that note. If it does not serve you, which you are well aware of what you're desiring now, if you can't get what you need out of it, then it's going to be time for you to, maybe move on. And understand you are 25.
Yes.
Maybe you have your whole life ahead of you to get plunged, baby, from somebody who wants to get plunged back. Like y'all, you could set the world on fire with somebody and you don't even know it because you worried about this girl who just wants to be a rag doll and lay there.
Oh,
don't do that to yourself just because, of all the other things. Because I promise you, like we said earlier, you could find that 80 instead of selling for that 50, that 40. Doesn't mean you need to shoot for 100. Be reasonable.
Not gonna find
but 100. You could, you're not gonna find 100, probably not. But you could definitely reach for something that's more closely aligned with what you want, that also honors you, honors your body, mind, and soul. Because I kind of don't even like the way they spoke to you, frankly.
I either. They did that to like. You ever seen The Game?
Like the game with like Melanie, with Melanie and Darwin.
The episode when Jason Pitts told Kelly, "Oh, I'm just not attracted to your body," and it's because he couldn't get it up to get hard because he had been taking them steroids.
Oh yeah, and then he used that against her. He manipulated her
to cover it up, then take responsibility for the fact that I can't get hard because I'm taking steroids. He ain't getting hard because he's a bottom. I don't. And let me tell y'all something. We do so much bottom shaming. He probably don't want to be labeled as that. He want to say, just say I'm a verse bottom, or I prefer this, or I don't want to do that, or I'm not feeling like this. Say that, but don't shame the boy. I'm just not see you as a okay, but you see him as a top, but you don't see him as a bottom. So are you saying he masculine enough to do that to you, but he's not? You know what? Okay.
That's another thing too, because people
I just thought about
pigeonhole
that.
you.
That might
People
be
pigeonhole you in a very way. He may
thing.
be too much.
It might be a situation, now that I think about it, where for some bottoms, that's their top, and they see them as masculine and see them in this certain way.
You're
And
this
they don't-
king in this way. I serve
Yeah,
you.
they don't want to see you like in that way. Like it changes their perspective of you or whatnot.
They may have like some submission politics, because some people don't. To me, I look at bottom is one of the strongest things you could do. Let me just be very clear, okay? The control, the breath control, you got to concentrate, the preparation. For me, I love cheese. I love cheese. You want me to bottom for you? I gotta premeditate that, okay? Because my diet ain't even set up right, okay, sis? But nevertheless, not about me. But I'm just saying, like, bottoming, there should be zero shame in it. So I think this has to do with your point about the way that person views bottoming. And that probably is some archaic mental shit that they need to deal with, which also should be a red flag for you.
The guy's probably young too, and he's still learning. That's why I say it's your time to explore, because he's gonna come into contact with something like that again, the other guy. And me myself personally, I'm a verse top, but verse boys do have more fun. I will say that.
I just say don't limit yourself. At least know for yourself. I think you should know for yourself every aspect of, sexual expression. And you can know, okay, hey, I did this and I don't like it. I did this and it's not for me, but at least you know.
Right. Try it.
At least you can be aware, because ignorance is not bliss, in my opinion.
It's not. It's confounding, actually.
Yeah, because it's circumstantial. It's about this, like it's fake. It's not even a real existence. But that's over tweet. But when we come back, we're gonna have your song of the week. Now, Mr. Verse in Training, all the best. Write us back. Let us know. I'm sorry it took so long for me to respond and pick your letter. But, write back, let us know, and we'll, update the people in a future episode. We'll be right back.
If you're in Atlanta, maybe, let me stop.
Don't you set this child up for failure.
He's too young. No, I'm not. He's 25. We don't touch those. Not at 37.
Thank you.
I said it. I mean, we don't.
We'll be right back, y'all.
How about we listen to a little?
Hi! That is my song! Hi. You know they gave me a shout out on the album, right? What? Yes! Everywhere I go, I see the same.
We are back with the song of the week portion of the show. We have Michael Jonvier here. Tell us the song of the week. Minister to the people.
The song of the week is Good Enough by Little Mix. And I chose this song because a lot of times in my life, I've questioned whether I'm good enough for somebody, a place, or a situation. And this song pretty much says, I'm more than good enough. I actually don't need you. You don't deserve any of my love. You don't deserve any of my time. Fuck you. Have a nice day. So that's why I chose it.
Period.
Can we waken this up a little?
Well, yeah, if you think you can.
Okay. Deanna. If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere,
Wait a minute.
Hey everyone, we are at the final portion of the show, the Fuckboy Fix. You guys know what it is, and if you don't, I'm gonna tell you right now. It's a self-care tip, it's an affirmation, it's a phrase that can help each and every one of you listeners out there in case you guys get into a sticky situation with somebody ripe and juicy yourselves, okay?
Right.
All right, Michael, how about you go and tell everybody what's your Fuckboy Fix?
My Fuckboy Fix is never get used to anyone disrespecting you.
Now,
Never.
what does that mean to you?
Pretty much that means respect yourself enough to not allow yourself to be taken for granted, overlooked, misused, manipulated, gaslighted. How you feel, who you are, and how you are is totally okay and relevant. And if they can't get with that, they can get the hell out.
All right. Now, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. Oh, you're so sweet. And thank you for opening up this season right. We needed the right person with the right message, and it definitely was you. Tell everybody out there one more time where they can find you out on social media and all the ways they can get connected with you.
At Michael Jonvier on TikTok, because I got 3,000 followers in 1 week. Hey, doing that real good.
Congratulations, boo. I need your recipe.
I'm gonna tell you. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all those. Michael Jonvier. And you'll be able to find me real soon on michaeljonvier.com and blurredblast.com, which is an alternative safe space for alternative fanboys and fangirls. All y'all Black people, the geeks and stuff, they're like your superheroes, supervillain, sci-fi. I'm coming with a site just for y'all because we need this right now. The alternative Black boy, Black girl. That's what you need to get on your show because they got a lot to say. Find you a geek.
Oh, okay. We don't have to talk. If you know some people. Okay. Well, thank you so much. That is the end of the first episode of season 3, Mr. Ripe and Juicy. Bye, boy.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at _FBProbs. Also, if you want to see video clips from today's episode, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel by visiting our Linktree at linktr.ee/FBProbs. And go ahead and add our playlist on Spotify and Apple Music while you're there. And last but not least, if you've got fuckboy problems or just want some advice, email us at fbprobs@justin-rayne.com. Until the next episode, bye fuckboys!